This is the street where your GPS will fail you, and locals warn tourists to never go there. Welcome back, everyone. Here, I'm gonna tell you about a street that doesn't exist. Well, it actually does exist, but for all intents and purposes, it may as well not. See, this is a street in Florence, Italy. It's called Via dei Servi, and if you're a tourist, you should probably stay away from it. Let me explain why. You see, there are two reasons why a GPS might send you here. The first is because of convenience. There are two major train stations in Florence, Santa Maria Novella and the other one down by the river, which is kind of a confusing walk from the city center. So some people coming into Florence will have their GPS programmed to take them directly to the train station. That's typically what mine does when I get to a new city. And so some of those people are going to end up on this street because it is very close to the train station. Now, the other reason would be because this street actually used to be the main road into the city until it got, shall we say, a little too crowded, and they opened up another road right next to it. So the Via dei Servi, or the Servi Street, became a little out of the way. But it's still a beautiful street lined with palaces and churches, and you can still access it easily from the main road. So some people might just decide to take a detour and come down the street to see what it is like. But once you get down here, you're gonna find something out. You're gonna find that there isn't any parking. See, most of the time when my GPS sends me somewhere, I need to get dropped off or I need to park my car. And there is no parking down here, so that eliminates most tourists. And the ones that do make it down here are gonna find something else. They're gonna find that the street is full of bum notes. You see, it's full of one-way streets. That ends in just an absolute labyrinth of little alleyways that make it very hard to navigate. So most people are going to turn around and go back the way they came. But let us say you were one of the few people who actually made it all the way down this street. What would you find at the bottom? Well, you would find a church, the Ursamishal Church, which used to be a temple of Mars. Then right across the way you would see the facade of the Cathedral of Santa Maria del Fiore, or the Duomo, which is one of the most iconic buildings in Florence. In fact, it's the second largest cathedral in the world. So you might think, well, hey, the street was worth it just to see the Duomo. But don't be fooled, because right across the street from the Duomo is yet another church, the Baptistry of San Giovanni, which is also one of the most photographed buildings in Florence. It's right behind the big white dome that you see everywhere. This church is where the famous bronze doors are, including the one that Michelangelo said was so beautiful that it was a sin. And the area around the baptistry is full of shops and restaurants, and it is the perfect place to enjoy a gelato while you watch the sunset over the rooftops of Florence. But you won't find any of that if you follow your GPS down the street. In fact, what you'll probably find is a parking garage and maybe a hotel. But after that, you're on your own. There aren't many businesses down here that cater to tourists. I mean, there are some, but they run mostly bars and restaurants where the waiters have seen it all and they don't really care anymore. They've been serving tourists since 1986, since before it was cool. So if you want to avoid the crowds and you want to experience Florence like a local, then this is the place to come. But I wouldn't suggest doing it on purpose. If you accidentally end up here, I guess it's fine. But I wouldn't put this place on your list of things to do unless you're really lost. I hope that helps. And as always, thanks for watching. Until next time, keep on traveling.